అండి ఈరోజు న్యూస్ హెడ్లైన్స్ చూద్దాం.
Please share and like.
With 425 new cases, curve rises steeply. PLA planned attack for at least 2 days. Why no arms? Asked Rahul. First article ఒకసారి చూద్దాం. ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఈ వీడియో నేను కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ ఇంప్రూవ్ చేసుకోవడం కోసం చేస్తున్నాను. Days after clash, China frees 10 soldiers. The release follows agreement at Major General level talks. No troops missing in action, says Army. Nation salute Army personnel and the public paying tributes to Havalidar Sunil Kumar in Patna on Thursday. He was among the 20 soldiers killed the Chinese at Galwan. Rajnath Kumar. 3 days after clashes in the Galwan Valley of Ladakh left 20 Indian soldiers dead. The Chinese on Thursday evening released 10 Indian Army personnel, including a lieutenant colonel and 3 majors, from their custody. A security source told the Hindu that all 10 persons were released around 5 p.m. after an agreement was reached at the Major General level talks on Wednesday evening, and they were returned unharmed. Separately, the armed clarified in a statement that there were no Indian troops missing in action. Soldiers were armed. In another development, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said to the Indian troops who were outnumbered and attacked by the Chinese side carried arms. All troops on border duty allows carry arms, especially when leaving post. Those at Galwan on June 15 did so. Long-standing practice as per 1996 and 2005 agreements not to use firearms during face-offs, Dr. Jaishankar said on Twitter in response to a tweet from Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. Article 6 of the 1996 agreement between India and China on confidence building measures CBMS in the military field along the line of actual control in the India-China border areas says neither side shall open fire, cause biodegradation, use hazardous chemicals, conduct blast operations, or hunt with guns or explosives within 2 kilometers from the line of actual control. The prohibition shall not apply to routine firing activities in small arms firing ranges. In the first combat facilitates in 45 years along the LAC. 20 Indian soldiers were killed in a clash after they were attacked by Chinese troops. Urban areas report spurt in positive cases. No Ratha Yatra for first time since 1864. Masks and sanitizers available plenty, but quality remains suspect, say experts. TDP criticizes reallocation of Horticulture Research Center. Growing resentment. 25 new cases in district. Website launched for sand supply. SC puts brakes on car festival. VSEZ units pay homage to fallen soldiers. VSEZ units pay homage to fallen soldiers. Srikakulam tops North Andhra region in positive cases. Go green. Reduce seating capacity impacts APS RTC revenue. 7 arrested. 1064 kg ganja seized from lorry in Chittoor. BJP educates people on center's achievements. Police seize ganja worth 80 lakhs. Foundation stone led for skill center. Foundation stone led for skill center. Officials of Andhra University along with Avanti Feeds Limited said the foundation stone for the AU Avanti Aquacultural Skill Development Center at AU Marine Living Resources building on the university campus on Thursday. AU Vice Chancellor TVGD Prasad Reddy said that the center set up at a budget of 1.25 crore rupee will be useful for youth from the Fishers Folk community to upgrade their skills and secure employment. He said that 3 more skill development centers are going to be set up in the Veracity, including one with Hone Maritime Institute and another center state collaborated LOT Skill Development Center. Expressing happiness on their collaboration with Andhra University, Avanti Feeds Managing Director A. Indra Kumar said that they would extend complete support to the center. Scrap SSC exams appeals outfit. The Praja Arogya Vedika PAV has sought the scrapping of SSC examinations in the state and the promotion of students based on the internal marks obtained in the past in separate letters to the Chief Minister and the Minister for Education, PAV State General Secretary T. Kameshwara and the President M.V. Ramanaya said the proposal to go ahead with examinations was nothing but playing with the lives of children at a time when medical experts are warning that children and senior citizens are at greater risk of contracting COVID-19. They appealed to the Chief Minister to reconsider the decision and spare the parents and teachers of their anxiety. 4 held for bootlegging. Tributes paid to Santosh Babu. Port sets new record. Published by N. Ravi. With 425 new cases, curve continues to climb steeply. Pumping of water begins at Pattisema scheme. Bassa blocked appropriation bill in council. TDP MLAs seek action against YSRCP leaders. Jagan vows to stand by tobacco farmers. SCC row. SC admits 2 more appeals. J.C. Prabhakar and his son Asmit denied bail. Naidu takes violations to notice of governor. TDP misused its majority in council. Vatsa. TDP MLC get pat from Naidu. CM to take part in PM's all-party meet. Mango farmers in Chittoor earn decent profits. Online classes, students complain of eye and ear problems. Online classes, students complain to eye and ear problem. Prolonged use of earphones can result in noise-induced deafness, say experts. Online classes, no doubt, provide students to catch up on the classes lost due to prolonged lockdown as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. Attending classes online without a break is said to be causing problems like dry eye syndrome, burning sensation of eyes, and ear problems. Educationists and doctors have their own reservations on online classes for primary classes. Doctors suggest use of laptops and external speakers instead of earphones to avoid eye and ear problems. Doctors suggest use of laptops and external speakers instead of earphones to avoid eye and ear problems. During the last 2 weeks, a few school children in the age group of 8 to 10 came to my clinic with complaints of dryness in their eyes and frequent blinking of eyes, prolonged reading on the mobile screen, and watching it from close range may result in these type of problems, says G. Hanumanta Rao, an ophthalmologist. Who runs his clinic on MVP Double Road. He suggests that a laptop or a desktop with a large screen should be preferred. It also ensures that proper viewing distance is maintained at least to some extent. Prolonged use of earphones can result in noise-induced deafness. It can also cause tinnitus, and the child may experience ringing sounds in the ear. Severe exposure may cause inability to hear certain frequencies. The problems depend on the duration and intensity of the sound, says B. Ramachandra Rao, an ENT surgeon at the government ENT hospital in the city. Stress on the brain. Online classes for young children may cause stress on their growing brains in the actual classroom scenario. They get breaks, interact with friends, and surrounding atmosphere would be conducive to the learning process. Sitting for long hours watching the mobile screen or laptop is not advisable for them, says P. Venugopal, head of the Department of Pediatrics, Andhra Medical College. Earphones increase the chances of ear infections as they are placed directly into the ear canal. They block the passage of air, which enhances the chances of ear infections. Their regular and long-term use increase the growth of bacteria, and sharing the earphones increase the risk of transfer of bacteria from one person to another, says SKE Apparao, an ENT surgeon. Students attending online classes should preferably use external speakers over the earphone. It is preferable to use headphones over earphones, as the latter is closer to the eardrum around causes greater damage when used for a long period of time, says Susurtha, an ENT surgeon. Transplantation time. UV based coronavirus cleaner for gadgets arrives. RTC services resume between AP Karnataka. Dant passes off peacefully in Vishaka agency. No Harm Zone campaign launched at Tirumala. No Harm Zone campaign launched at Tirumala. City doubles quota of special darshan tickets. Buses to Telangana in a week. Next one. Kalvan. Postscript to tragedy. Meditation in age of COVID-19. Letters to the editor. Can India decouple itself from Chinese manufacturing? Can India decouple itself from Chinese manufacturing? India faces challenges linked to infrastructure and skill sets, and its policies are unpredictable. India faces challenges linked to infrastructure and skill sets, and its policies are unpredictable. Made in India. The border clashes with China and the COVID-19 pandemic have regenerated questions about India's dependence on Chinese manufacturing. India's import from China in 2019-20 reached 65 billion dollars out of $81 billion two-way trade. Reached 65 billion out of $81 billion. Secondly, two-way trade is a pandemic, as Union Minister Nitin Gadkar said last month, a blessing in disguise for Indian manufacturing. Will companies be able to move deeply integrated supply chains out of China? In a discussion moderated by Anant Krishnan, Biswajit Dhar and Amitabh Palit discussed the options and the challenges ahead in India's efforts to boost manufacturing-related exports. It has been more than 5 years since India launched the Make in India initiative. If we look at India's dependencies on China as one barometer, how would you assess where we are now? Biswajit Dhar: I think that the Make in India initiative was a good opportunity for us to get our manufacturing sector back on track. I don't think that we have taken advantage of what we had planned in the past 5 years. What we have seen is that the dependency on China has actually gone up. Amitabh Palit: what we are seeing is, for a variety of reasons, India's dependence on imports is getting to be localized, in the sense that there is not a wide diversification of countries from which India is sourcing. For example, if you look at critical medical supplies which India has been importing for frontline healthcare workers in COVID-19 battle, most of these come from China. Aside from China, these are probably 3 or 4 countries on which India's dependency is increasing. China is by and large widespread across different concentrations. To that extent, it is going to be difficult to choose for India to get out of these dependence. What are some of the concentrations? AP: first, regarding capital goods, Indian manufacturing is dependent on supplies from China. These include a wide variety of machineries, including electrical machinery, semiconductors, driven machinery, etc. We import fertilizers from China. Limited value consumer goods have flooded the market, where the criticality actually comes in is when there are number of imports which are not really a matter of choice, but which are essential. For example, if we look at humidifiers which are being unutilized in the COVID-19 battle, China is again the main source. For medical masks, China is the main source. Even for something like liquid soap, which is very much highly required across the country today, China again happens to be main source of supplies. We need to look at the whole situation very clearly and probably prioritize in terms of what are the areas where India can relatively more easily move back away from the dependency it has on China, and what are the areas where it will take much longer. The conventional wisdom is we should aim to replicate what China did the 1990s, but how different is the global environment from 30 years ago when China was opening up. BD global value China's today are looking quite different. What the data suggests is global value China are in fact becoming more local. Countries are depending more on their own economies rather than on global markets. This is an impact of the Great Recession of 2008. I don't think that the Great Recession of 2008, I don't think that the strategy that China followed, which was a global market driven industrialization strategy and export driven strategy, is going to be reality anymore. Policy makers keep making these statements that we are going to become more open and we are going to be relying more on the global markets. Unfortunately, that possibility has now passed. If one looks at why China is so central to very large number of global and regional supply chains, there are two elements to it. The first is that fact that China does offer the capacity to business to develop the supply chains by considerably length within itself. This is not just because of the geography that it has, but also because of the fairly wide broad basin that it has developed over different sectors and by and large in most products. China's biggest value comes as a final stage assemblers. China has also become a major consumer for final products. So when we look at value chains today, let's say in post-COVID-19 situation, the emphasis on part of business is to make their chains shorter, more resilient, more durable, and locate them closer to the final demand markets. Now, this is where I think we often overlook the importance of China. China continues to remain a major source of the final demand market, as a result of which shifting physically supply Chinese out of the Chinese geography and its connected arms. I prefer to Hong Kong and Taiwan. It is going to be pretty difficult because the geography offers a tremendous amount of what in economics we call agglomeration advantages. We have seen companies moving out, although mainly to Southeast Asia, even assuming there is limited relocation, that we can observe what should be our policy priorities. BD, we need to ask why is that there has always been a huge gulf between FDI inflows to China and into India, and why is it that we have been attracting so little despite being one of the most open economies and despite being a country which offers very attractive terms in foreign investors. The Make in India strategy talked about FDI in manufacturing, but if you look at the data and see which sectors have been preferred by foreign investors, we will see the service sectors, and many of these sectors are those where India does not need any investment. For instance, IT services. I think the reason is clear, and that there are skill set problems in India. Foreign investors get into the sectors where there are acknowledged skills, for instance in IT, but we don't have similar skill sets in manufacturing. The second issue is infrastructure. It's not just about having a good policy, but you need to have the infrastructure in place so that the foreign investor can make profits. There is a view that since the wage rates are low, investment is going to come here. That's not true. We all know that it's actually productive linked wages that matter, and productivity in India is pretty awful. We can talk about offering to land, but I don't think the land is an issue, because from 2005, after we announced our special economic zones policy, the government of India has gone and acquired land all over the place. There is also the red tape. It's not enough to say that we are going up the ease of doing business rankings. We know what the situation is on the ground. We often hear industries calling for labor reforms and complaints that in India labor unions are too powerful and it should be easier to hire and fire workers. And it should be easier to hire and fire workers. Is that the issue, or is it a skill issue? Skills issue. It is actually easy for industries to hire and fire. If one lesson COVID-19 has taught everyone, it is that there is virtually no labor loss in this country. Labor was retrenched at the drop of a hat. The reverse migration we are seeing is because of this problem. This is a false kind of narrative that has been spotted time and time again, that we need more flexibility. If we look at the kind of FDI that India has been getting over the last 3 to 4 years, and the big ticket FDI, whether it is Walmart's acquisition of large state in Flipkart or that of Facebook in Reliance Jio, all of these are essentially intending to acquire existing assets. None of these are in the nature of building a board from scratch in terms of the typical greenfield investment, which is capable of creating substantial jobs. One thing India can probably offer that other countries in Southeast Asia cannot to the same degree is the market. Can we leverage that better? The unfortunate reality is we have not carried to harness the dominant domestic market advocacy, and this is linked to our overall strategy of increasing. Trump's America First policy intensifies in an election year. First the blowout, then the takeout. Real signals from Peking. The Punjab debate. Next page होगा. Bengaluru worries as Karnataka toll rises by 12. Pandemic amplifies demand for retirement homes. Pandemic amplifies demand for retirement homes. Thousands throng final rites of coal. Santosh Babu. India coach to win in Security Council polls. PLA planned attack for at least 2 days. SCCL launches special portal to promote use of local coal. Telangana HC public COVID-19 patients list. Days after clash, China frees 10 soldiers. 502 passenger trains to get express tag. 502 passenger trains to get express tag. Karnataka polls 9 candidates file papers. Kerala local body polls likely be mid-October. Government note to acquire land for Sabarimala Airport. Note to acquire land for Sabarimala Airport. Next one చూద్దాం. Grief, anger in villages of slain Bihar soldiers. Why were our Jawans unarmed? Hong Kong residents to be flown out. Boycott Chinese goods, says person. Railways to terminate 471 crore rupees contract of Chinese firm. Railways to terminate 471 crore rupees contract of Chinese. Nepal's new map now part of constitution. Twitter launches search promote for domestic violence. Twitter launches search promote to domestic violence. FIR against Scribe chief editor for misreporting. Farc for diplomacy to ease tensions. Plea in SC seeks damages from China. Plea in SC seeks damage from China. Polls for 19 Rajya Sabha seats today. 50,000 crore schemes for migrants. Kong says it has numbers in Manipur. India to take part in meeting of RIC grouping. Reply to plea on postal ballots. Essay. Decide on plea and role of law index in 6 months. Rule of law in 6 months. A mobile lab to improve access to testing. Umifinever to undergo clinical trial. Supreme Court stays Puri Radhayatra. Only minor savings due to cut in legislators' pay, says study. Punjab looks to export PPEs. Attributes of Nathamuni. Pay health workers on time. Ministry tells states. States seek extension of grains scheme. Trump asked Xi to help win re-election. Juneteenth, when slaves in Texas heard of their freedom. Iraq tells Turkey to stop attacks. President cannot shut down DACA, says US top court. France slams pro-vacation as US halts digital tax talks. Bill to sanction China or Uyghur rights. Chinese country restricts travel. Iranian Navy test fires cruise missile. Japan ex-minister wife held in vote buying case. Indian economy to contract by 4% in 2021 forecasts ADB. AZR demand from non-telco TCUs withdrawn, get tells SC. Modi's downgrades Tata Motors rating. Rana clocks 34 crore loss. Rani clocks 34 crore loss. PM kickstarts virtual auction of 41 coal blocks. SEBI's wild volatility steps extended till July 30. Saudi found impact to take 2.32% in Geo. Government allows export of SCQ formulations. City Union Bank slips into the red in Q4. Fuel prices raised for 12th day in a row. Nifty 50 price change. Adani retail subscription at 82% in SDFC AMC offer. Exchange rates indicative directory. Market watch. Man City's Sterling display. Kodumanal dig throws light on megalithic burial rituals. Mangankar assisting Finland squash team. Important to play and win against top players. Happy to see Grand Slams back. Djokovic. Sreesanth could be included in Ranji camp. Quick singles. Andresio to defend US Open title. Stars in running for CA top job. Lee Mans unveils new compact schedule. Through draw for India in AFC U16 tournament. Suspended CSK doctor tenders apology. No Malinga in Lanka's second residential camp. Exciting find. The brutal site that has been unearthed at Kondumanal village in Eroda district. M. Govardhan.